Memorial Weekend 2023 will be the annual Remnant meeting in Centerview, Missouri. Friday night we'll be having bonfires and grill outs. Camping is available. Saturday we'll be meeting more bonfires and camp outs. We have a fishing trip planned, a little bit of meeting during that time, and then Sunday we'll be focusing on those who gave the ultimate sacrifice here in the USA. All the links are below if you're interested in joining us. It'll also be live on Saturday. Welcome to a series called He Trains My Hands for War. We're going through the book of Joshua verse by verse to get a great understanding of what it means to be in the army of the living God and what it means to be successful and on his side and follow his every instruction. And as we've gone through this book, we're finally at that place where Joshua is giving commandments on crossing that Jordan River, the thing that their ancestors were too afraid to do and caused them to just have to die in the wilderness. Then Joshua spoke to the priests, saying, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and cross over before the people." So they took up the Ark of the Covenant and went before the people. And the Lord said to Joshua, "This day I will begin to magnify you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. You shall command the priests who bear the Ark of the Covenant, saying, when you have come to the edge of the water of the Jordan, you shall stand in the Jordan." So Joshua said to the children of Israel, "Come here and hear the words of the Lord your God." And Joshua said, "By this you shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Jebusites." Now, last time we talked about how knowing God is among us. This time I kind of want to talk about really this idea, by this you shall know that the living God is among you and that he will without fail. Knowing the success of God without fail. Because if you're on God's path and you're failing, there's something you're doing wrong. And it's very important we understand that. And I'm not saying that, you know, you're wrong because you failed at this, because we all fail at things. What I'm talking about is when God gives you a vision and he says, "I want you to do this thing." Or through prayer, he says, "I want you to do this thing." And you go do that thing, something went wrong if you fail. And it wasn't God. And that's the critical piece of this, is we have to understand, because what we're going to find out is the Israelites will have moments of failure, but it's because somebody did something wrong and it wasn't God. God is without fail. And that's the important part of this, that we have to get deeply ingrained within our hearts and mind, is that he is without fail. And I just kind of want to go back to, what does these first Israelites know? Well, they knew prophecy. They believed it to be true. They listened to God's instructions, and they confidently walked into prophetic things, knowing it to be so. And that knowing that because of that, God will do it without fail. Well, there's many prophetic things that we're still going to face as Christians. There's the time of tribulation coming. That's one of the most prophesied things in the Bible, Jesus' second coming, and we will be those who are here when he returns. And there's going to be a lot of freaky stuff that's not going to make any sense, and the world's going to tell you to do one thing, and God's going to tell you to do the totally opposite thing, because it's an antichrist. It's an anti-God. Everything that God does, the Antichrist does the opposite of that thing. So we have to confidently say, well, I know what the Word of God says. It says to go do this thing. So we go do that thing. You know, again, I'll go back. That's why it's so incredibly important to study the book of Revelation. You know, in addition to the book of Joshua, it's incredibly important we do these things. Because God is without fail. If things are going wrong, it is not his fault. And that's the piece we have to get deeply ingrained in us. And, you know, and I said this in the beginning of the series, and I keep saying it, you know, it's about preparing. It's, you know, this series is preparing you to understand, like it's like a book training on what it means to be in the army of the living God. But there's physical training that needs to be done as well. You know, get out. You know, here I am out. I'm just taking a long walk. I was out filming, walking, getting exercise. I'm getting to the gym a lot. I'm doing jujitsu. I'm drinking that the scorpion peppers once a week, every Sunday. I mean, just get out and train. Like, don't just go through this and go, well, that was interesting. I'm glad I went through that book. Now I know some stuff. You have to change who you are to be in the army of the living God. So I hope this video helps. Keep digging with us. Any thoughts or insight, definitely put it below, but just make sure you know if you're studying God's prophecy and you're trying to follow it and something's going wrong, it's something you did. God is without fail.